So, in this video, I'll be talking about parameterizations. So, if usually a parameterization it is like a curve, but so something like x square plus y square is equal to one is a curve in R2. It is the circle. But if we were to parameterize it, we could use x of t is cos t and y of t is sin t, in which case cos t comma sin t is the curve. And now we have introduced an extra independent variable t, such that both the x coordinate and the y coordinate depend on t. So if basically if x can be written as a function of t, y can be written as a function of t where t lies between a to b, then x of t comma y of t is a curve in R2, and t is called the parameter of the curve, and this is the curve. And if you can obtain an equation of x comma y by eliminating t, so if you can eliminate t and get an equation only on x and y, then you get the equation of the curve represented by this in terms of just x and y instead of t. Instead of having an extra variable, you can always like uh, you can always think of it as a function in R2 based on x and dependent on x and y. So let's talk about a few examples. So in the following examples, you have to eliminate t to get an equation in x and y, and uh, tell what the curve is. So for example, here x is equal to t plus 4 and y is equal to 2t plus 1. T lies between 0 to infinity. So since we have to eliminate t, we can write down t is equal to x minus 4 from this. So therefore, and now substitute this value of t in y, because this is basically dependent on just x. So you have y is equal to 2 times t is x minus 4 plus 1. So therefore y is equal to 2x minus 8 plus 1. So this is equal to 2x minus 7. So y is equal to 2x minus 7 is the curve. But remember, not all values of x and y are permissible, because t lies between 0 to infinity. So it is important that you write the ranges of x and y. So since t lies between 0 to infinity, x will lie between t plus 4 will lie between 4 to infinity. So therefore x, which is equal to t plus 4, t lies between 0 to infinity. So that means x lies between 4 to infinity. Alright. And similarly, since y is equal to 2t plus 1, so y will lie between 1 to infinity. And we have to write this ranges of x and y along with the equation, because the curve is, if you think of it, this curve, this is a straight line, and this is a oh, sorry this is a straight line which goes like this. But x can only be greater than equal to 4 to infinity, so which is why this is not the whole straight line, this is just a part of this straight line. So you can't just find this equation and leave it. You also have to write the ranges of x and y using the range of t. So now let's talk about a different question. X is equal to cos t by t divided by 2, and y is equal to sin t divided by 2, and t lies between 0 to 2 pi. So in this case, you have to remember that whenever you have something like cos and sin, then you will be using the identity cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So when you substitute theta is equal to t divided by 2, then you have cos square t by 2 plus sin square t by 2 is equal to 1. So therefore this is x squared and this is y squared. So you have x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. But now you have to use this range to get what the ranges of x and y are. So for example, t lies between 0 to 2 pi. So therefore t by 2 lies between 0 to pi, and so therefore cos t by 2. What about cos t by 2? Where will it lie? So you know that the graph of cos looks like this. So in 0 to pi, it will take all the values between minus 1 and 1. So cos t by 2 will lie between 1 and minus 1. And sin t by 2, well, when t by 2 lies between 0 to pi, and the graph of sin theta is like this. So it will lie between, uh, it will always be above 0 but below 1. So sin t by 2 lies between 0 to 1. So therefore, from this you can conclude that x lies between minus 1 to 1 and y lies between 0 to 1. So not only this, you also have to find this, which is important. So now let's look at another example. X is equal to 3 cos t and y is equal to 4 sin t, and t lies between 0 to 2 pi. So like I said, you have to use the fact that cos square t plus sin square t is equal to 1. But what is cos t? Since x is equal to 3 cos t, so therefore you can write down x by 3 is equal to cos t, and similarly y is equal to 4 sin t. So therefore you can write down y by 4 is equal to sin t. And now you'll substitute these values in cos square t plus sin square t is equal to 1. So therefore you have x by 3 whole square plus y by 4 whole square is equal to 1. So you have x square by 9 plus y square by 16 is equal to 1. Now t lies between 0 to 2 pi. So therefore cos t will lie between minus 1 to 1 and sin t will lie between minus 1 to 1. So therefore 3 cos t will lie between minus 3 to 3, and 4 sin t will lie between minus 4 to 4. So that means x lies between minus 3 to 3 and y lies between minus 4 to 4. And this is our equation. Right, let's talk about this. X is equal to 2 sin t and y is equal to 1 minus 4 sin t. So here we can say that y is equal to 1 minus 4 sin t. Since there are not sin t and cos t, the sin square t plus cos square t method won't work. However, you can simplify this using, you can see that there is 2 sin t here and 4 sin t here. So that means you can write this down as 1 minus 2 times 2 sin t, which means this is 1 minus 2 times x. So you have 2x plus y is equal to 1 is the equation of this curve. But t lies between 0 to 2 pi. So this means that sin t lies between minus 1 to 1. So therefore 2 sin t will lie between minus 2 to 2. So therefore x will lie between minus 2 to 2. And what about y? Since sin t lies between minus 1 to 1, minus 4 sin t will lie between minus 4 to 4. And when you add 1 to it, you have minus 3 to 5. So therefore y lies between minus 3 to 5, which is the final answer. So this curve and these are the ranges of x and y. You need both to define the curve uniquely. So now we'll talk about tangent of a parameterized curve. So when like a curve is parameterized, so you have it is just similar to the function of y is equal to f of x. So if you have something like this and you want the slope of a tangent, of course you will find out the derivative dy by dx at x equal to x naught. Uh, s- so when you find out this derivative, it will be the slope of the tangent. So similarly, if you have a parameterized curve x of t comma y of t, which means x is equal to x of t and y is equal to y of t, in that case the slope of the tangent is dy by dx, which is also equal to dy by dt divided by dx divided by dx upon dt. So this is the slope the derivative dy by dx. So for if you want the horizontal tangent, well then you need this derivative to be 0. So which means that the numerator has to be 0. So the derivative of y with respect to t is 0. And similarly, for vertical tangent you need that this derivative is infinity, because for vertical tangents the lines are all parallel to the y-axis. So therefore the slope of this tangent is infinity. So therefore you want this uh, the denominator to be 0 so that this becomes infinity. So you'll have this the derivative of x with respect to t is 0. So now let's look at an example. If you have this equation x is equal to t minus cos t and y is equal to 1 minus sin t, then you want to find out what is the derivative of y with respect to x. So like we said, dy by dx is equal to the derivative of y with respect to t upon the derivative of x with respect to t. So we need to find out this and this. So the derivative of y with respect to t is nothing but minus cos t, and the derivative of x with respect to t is nothing but 1 plus sin t. So this is equal to this divided by this. So minus cos t divided by 1 plus sin t, which is the final answer for the derivative. Alright. So find the equation of tangent at t is equal to 0. So when t is equal to, we have already found out that the derivative of y with respect to x is minus cos t by 1 plus sin t. And the function is, and the curve is t minus cos t, and y is 1 minus sin t. So therefore So therefore, if you substitute t equal to 0 in this, so you will have the slope of the tangent. So you just need to substitute t equal to 0 here. So you will have minus 1 by 1, which is minus 1. So the slope of the tangent is minus 1, and the point is uh, the point of the curve at t equal to 0 is x of 0 comma y of 0 is the point through which tangent passes. So this is equal to, so x of 0 is uh, minus 1 and y of 0 is 1. So therefore the equation of tangent is equal to, so why is this the point on the tangent? Because if you have a curve like this and this is the tangent at this point, then the tangent will definitely pass through this point, and the slope is equal to the derivative of this curve, which is why I have found out this point and said that the point lies on the tangent. So therefore the equation of tangent is y minus y of 0 is 1 is equal to the slope of the tangent times x plus 1. So therefore this is y plus x, and minus 1 will cancel out, is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus y is the equation of the tangent. So find the values of t where tangent line is horizontal. So like I said, for horizontal tangent line we need dy by dx is equal to 0. So which means that we need the numerator of this to be 0. So we need cos t is 0, and so cos t is 0 whenever so let's look at the graph of cos theta. This is the graph of cos t, and it is 0 for pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2, and this is 5 pi by 2 and so on. And this is minus pi by 2 and so on. And this is minus 3 pi by 2, I think. So basically t is equal to odd pi by 2, and you can put a plus minus here because well, these are also, or you could just, k belongs to the set of integers. So these are the values of t for which cos t is 0. You can just derive it from the graph. And so find the values of t where tangent line is vertical. So for that we need uh, dy by dx, which is minus cos t by 1 plus sin t, to be infinity, and this is infinity whenever the denominator is 0. So that means 1 plus sin t is 0. So therefore sin t is equal to minus 1, And when will this happen? Let's look at the graph of sine theta. It looks like this, and it is minus 1 for, so first of all it's minus 1 for pi plus pi by 2, which is 3 pi by 2. This is 3 pi by 2, and it is minus 1, 3 pi by 2 plus 2 pi. So this is 7 pi by 2, I think. And then for 11 pi by 2 and so on. And here we have the same thing, minus 3 minus, well, this is minus pi by 2. And this is minus 5 pi by 2 and so on. So therefore you can say that all of these numbers will leave a remainder of 3 when divided by 4. So you can write this down as t is equal to 4k plus 3 by 2 pi, where k belongs to the set of all integers. So which is our final answer. And now let's talk about something different, which is area and arc length. So if you have a curve like x of t comma y of t, and t lies between a to b is a curve, then the area bounded by the curve and the x-axis. So this is the curve, and you look at the area bounded by curve and x-axis, which means you're looking at this area. Then this area is the following formula: integration from a to b x prime of t y of t dt. And so here and you take the modulus of that, because x prime t can be positive or negative. If it is negative, you will have to take minus x prime t y t dt and integrate it from a to b. And if x prime is positive, then you have to take integration from a to b x prime t y of t dt. So all of these are dependent on the condition that y of t has to be positive and x prime t does not change sign. If it changes sign at a particular point, you will have to take two chunks and add them, because this won't this won't give you what you want. And similarly, the arc length of a curve is integration from a to b square root of x prime square plus y prime square dt. And so these are the formulas. So let's look at an example. Find the area bounded by the curve and x-axis, where x is this and y is this, and t lies between 0 to pi by 2. So therefore, the area, the formula for the area is integration the intervals of t, which is 0 to pi by 2, times x prime of t, y of t, dt, to take the modulus of this. So, but first we need to check that x prime t does not change sign. So x prime of t, x prime of t is minus 10 sine 2t, and t lies between 0 to pi by 2, which means this lies between 0 to 10. So sine 2t will lie between 0 to 1, so this lies between minus 10 to 0. So which means it never changes its sign because it is always less than equal to 0. So therefore x prime t does not change sign. And what about y of t? Well, y of t is, it has to be positive, which is true because when t lies between 0 to pi by 2, sine 2t will lie between 0 to 1. So sine 2t will lie between 0 to 1. So therefore 5 times this will lie between 0 to 5, which means it is always positive. So therefore it satisfies both the condition that y of t is positive and x prime t does not change sign. So we can use this formula, and once we use this formula you'll have, so y of t is phi sine 2t and x of t is phi cos 2t. So therefore x prime of t is the derivative of this with respect to t. So we'll have phi times minus sine 2t times 2. So this is minus 10 sine 2t. And so finally for area you will have integration from 0 to pi by 2 modulus of y of t times x prime t, which is minus 50 times sine square 2t dt. And now we need to integrate this. You can bring this minus 50 outside, and after applying modulus to it you will have 50 integration 0 to pi by 2 sine square 2t dt. And now this integration will be positive because sine square is always positive, so the integration will be positive, so you can lose the modulus if you want. So this is equal to 50 times and integration of sine square 2t. And how do we integrate sine square theta? Well, we use the double angle formula. You can use sine square theta is 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. So in this case, you'll have integration from 0 to pi by 2. 1 minus cos 2 theta is, in this case, it's cos 4t by 2 dt. And this becomes 25 times integration from 0 to pi by 2, 1 minus cos 4t dt. And now this is 25 times the integration of 1 is t, and you lose the limit 0 to pi by 2 minus the integration of cos 4t is sin 4t by 4, and you will use the limits 0 to pi by 2. And since sin 4t when t is equal to pi by 2 is sin 2 pi, and sin 0, both of them have the same value, which is 0, so this is cancelling out. So now you just have this, and this is pi by 2 minus 0, so you'll have 25 times pi by 2, which is the final answer. And this is the area with the x-axis, which can also be checked in this way. If you have this phi cos 2t and y is phi sin 2t, then you can see that x square plus y square satisfies 25 is equal to 25. So therefore this is a circle, and since t lies between 0 to pi by 2, so x lies between minus 5 to 5, so which just means that, and y is always positive, so it just means that the region that you are considered is this part of the circle, just this part, and the area with the x-axis will just be half the area of this whole circle. So this area is half times pi r squared, and the radius is 5, so this is 25 pi by 2. So this is just a small verification. that this formula works. Alright, so there is that. Now find the arc length of the curve x is equal to 3 cos t and y is equal to 3 sin t. And t lies between 0 to 4 pi. So which means again you can see that this is x square plus y square is equal to 9, and since t lies between 0 to 4 pi, so if t lies between 0 to 2 pi, you will get one complete of the circle, one complete arc of the circle, and for 4 pi you will have two arcs. So therefore the arc length of this curve should be two times the circumference of this circle, and the circumference of circle is 3 2 pi r, so this has to be 12 pi. And now let's check this with the formula that we had. And arc length is equal to integration from a to b square root of x prime squared plus y prime squared dt. So as you can see that if x is 3 cos t, then x prime of t is minus 3 sin t, and y prime of t is 3 cos t. So therefore x prime squared is plus y prime squared is 9 sin square t plus 9 cos square t, which is just 9 times sin square t plus cos square t, which is 1. This is 1. So therefore this is 9. And when you take the square root of this, you get square root of 9, which is 3. Alright. So the arc length is integration from 0 to 4 pi square root of this, which is 3 times dt, and this is equal to 3 times the integration of 1 is t, and you will substitute 0 to 4 pi. So this is equal to 4 pi minus 0, 4 pi into 3, which is 12 pi, which is the final answer. And you can see that this is the same as the one we calculated without using the formula. So that's it.